Hello, everyone. I'm Isabelle Pierret, Marketing and Communication Director for sharingbox. Welcome to our webinar hosted with Showbolt. We are delighted today to present you an exceptional new activation that will make the difference and start your events. To tell you about it, I have the pleasure to welcome today our international team, starting with Sidney Valenta, co-founder of sharingbox, sitting in Belgium. Gemma Harvey, Director of Showbolt World Event, sitting in UK, and Eduardo Singrossi, Sales Director Europe for sharingbox, sitting in Italy. So we definitely are an international team. So Sidney, to start the webinar, let's start with a simple question. Explain us why this partnership between sharingbox and Showbolt is going to bring added value to our customers. Please, Sidney.
Oh, for a lot of reasons. So for the one who doesn't know us, sharingbox has been active in what I would call the photo/video marketing for now about a little bit more than 10 years. In order to do that, to help our clients to reach the marketing goals and objective through pictures and video activation, we are always looking to develop or find the best hardware solution, software solution, the best user experience, and incredible output. Everything that will make the photo activation or the video activation a success. And this is why when we saw the Showbolt solution, it's exactly aligned with our mentality, with our DNA, to have one of a kind and out of the box and super, I would say, new way of playing with people. And Showbolt that has all these advantages together. It's exceptional. It's client entertainment. The user experience is fun. The output, it's an output that you cannot generate with a cell phone. And all of those little points, it's exactly what we want to present to our clients, to be able to play with their audience. And that's basically it. It's a sharingbox has in our DNA. We most of the time try to develop our own solution in terms of hardware and software. But thanks to our international team and presence in more than 20 countries, when we find a good product we did not develop ourselves, we're not afraid to go to the company and ask them for partnership, because we strongly believe that distributing Showbolt will bring added value to us and our customer. Does that reply to your question, Isabel? So in a few words, for the one who doesn't know, doesn't know sharingbox yet, sharingbox is a company that was created in Belgium a little bit more than 10 years ago. As I said, the goal and the objective of sharingbox is to help companies to reach marketing objective through photo and video activation. When we say marketing objective, that mainly we help companies to collect data, to generate brand ambassadors, to do client entertainment, to do traffic management, to help companies to bring the potential customer to their website or to their store. And in order to do that, we use the picture and the pictures or video. When we say a video or a picture activation, what means activation is the perfect combination about a certain hardware, a certain software, a certain user experience, and the output. And depending on the audience, depending on the venue, depending on the brand, depending on the objective, we're gonna choose which hardware we're gonna use, which software we're gonna use, what's going to be the user experience, and what's going to be the output. It's going to be a video output, a picture output. We're going to print it on the mug. There's a lot of possibilities, and be able to play with all those components makes us super good, successful activation. And then again, this is why the partnership with Showbolt was super interesting for us, because in terms of hardware, it's a new type of hardware. In terms of software, it's an amazing. It's a mix in their software and our software. In terms of user experience, it's something that has never been seen before. And in terms of the output generated by the Showbolt, today we know from experience that today the users share 7 times more dynamic videos files on social networks than pictures and static files. And the render of a Showbolt, the output of a Showbolt, is a super and extremely high-end dynamic file that people cannot generate such a file with a smartphone. So people are going to share them, and that's what we call a thumb stopper. The people that are going to be on their cell phone doing like this on social networks with their thumb, when they're going to see the output of a Showbolt activation, they're going to stop their thumb and say, wow, this is a super cool output. And they're going to see the brand that activated it. So exactly that's what we do. I'm not going to go too long into details about what Sharingbox does, but since we're here, I might as well give some information about who we are. Sharingbox generate profit the way we target the market. We work on 4 different verticals. The corporate, that's what we're here for. We help our corporate clients to reach marketing objective, and it could be for the launch of a new, the opening of a shop. It can be on festivals, it can be on trade fairs, etc. We have a vertical called the private vertical, where we deliver machine with solution for weddings, bar mitzvahs, and birthday. We have fixed installation, where we help venues generate more revenues with fixed installation in amusement park, in aquariums, in exhibition. And we have a 4th vertical called Yoda Booth, where we sell our hardware to integrators. But today, what's interesting for us and what we hear is for the corporate. The DNA of Sharingbox, for the whole story started, was the corporate business. When we do B2B, it's a B2B relationship with our client in order to help them to reach their marketing goals. We can move on to the next slide. These are some data, so why people are using us, but I don't think today everybody knows today what are the plus of having a photo activation on their event. Today, it used to be a nice to have. Today, it's a must have. I think there's no, doesn't exist any, today you don't have any event where there's no link between the physical and the digital. What I mean by that, you can go from a wedding to a festival, to an exhibition. You're always going to have a tool that's going to bring everything that's happening on the venue, on the event, on the digital, a bridge. It is exactly what we do at Sharingbox. So our tool, as the first purpose, people are going to play with the Sharingbox solution, like the Showbolt or other solution, and those content will be pushed online, shared by the user, which means going to be the bridge between the physical and the digital. It's exactly what we do. And those are some key numbers of why people use system like Sharingbox system, and what our clients can gain out of it. We can move on to the next step. As I said, this slide, because as I said, but it's good to repeat it. In order to have a successful photo or video activation, it's super important to choose the right hardware depending on the venue and the audience we have. The right software. Are we going to do a picture? Are we going to do a video? Are we going to do a GIF animation? Are we going to connect data? Again, depending on the objective of the client, that will change. User experience, exactly the same. Today, people do not want to stand just in front of a screen and click. They want to move. You want to engage them. Or more people are playing with the machine, or more fun it is, or more it will attract people, or more the content that's going to be created is going to be unique. And of course, the output, what the user is going to receive, again, depending on the objective, will change. If the goal of a company is to create brand ambassador and be seen online, we're going to push for a digital output such as the Showbolt. If the client wants to give a souvenir and get inside the house of the user, we're going to print the pictures, we're going to go back home, they're going to be put on the fridge of the user. So again, the output is going to be chosen depending again on the objective of a client, of the client. We can move on to the next slide. Those are some examples of a different activation we've done with different hardware, software, and output. And then you see, you can go from a specific filters to an animated GIF, to a swimming pool when you jump in a swimming pool, to a multiple camera. So yes, we have a lot of different hardware, software, and a lot of creativity that allow us to answer all our clients' needs. But today we're here to present the new star of our portfolio of product, which is a Showbolt. So I know I speak super fast with a very Frenchy accent, so I hope everybody understood what I said. If not, there's going to be a Q&A afterwards, and you'll be able to answer all the questions you have. But now we have Gemma from the UK with a really nice and strong UK accent that's going to present you. And Gemma is from Showbolt. She's our partner from Showbolt. And she's going to present you what does the machine, what is exactly your Showbolt, what it does, and give you some examples, some case study of successful activation. So Gemma, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sidney. Wonderful. So thank you everyone for joining us. So Nikon own Mark Roberts, which is a company that runs Showbolt, and we've got over 50 years of experience in the production of robotic arms for mainly the film and television industry. But Showbolt's our kind of newest product, and it was developed specifically for the needs of the experiential and event sector. So what we've done is we've taken the kind of film production techniques, and we wanted to offer that same quality to event professionals and their clients. Obviously, with the rise of social, there's much more pressure on the quality of content that is being produced at live events. events. So Showbolt, kind of on a very basic level, is the combination of a motion control robotic arm and really fast, sophisticated editing software. The combination of the two allows us essentially to create film quality within seconds, which is ultimately the main goal of live event content production. Sharingbox was chosen as our partner because they really are key players in the production of cutting-edge event content. And together we've brought this innovation to an industry that's really driven by awareness and visibility on social networks. So everything really started with Glambot. I'm sure many of you joining us today have kind of seen Glambot that hit the red carpet thanks to the US entertainment channel E a couple of years ago. And the main purpose of kind of that activation was to be able to capture stars and celebrities on the red carpet having their moment, which has been the kind of really key feature of many award ceremonies, the Grammys, for the past couple of years. So Showbolt took that concept, which we saw worked really well. It was very popular. It was an amazing way of capturing people kind of looking at their finest. And we developed it specifically for the needs of the event industry. And what that means is we use a smaller robotic arm than Glambot. So from all the boring kind of logistical reasons about kind of access to event spaces and cost of transportation, much more efficient. And we use high speed, a camera that shoots at a frame rate that allows us to process that content really quickly. Again, where speed is of the essence, it's really important that we can process content live. The red carpet shot is still by far our most kind of popular brief that we see coming through from clients, but we did want to show you a kind of a selection of other case studies of how else it can be used both on and off the red carpet. So we're already at the Amphor Gala. Let's jump straight in there. Very much the hottest ticket on the French Riviera during the Cannes Film Festival and Formula One. The Amphor Gala is a charity event hosted in the south of France. Showbolt was very much a natural choice for the client, who asked us to organise this exceptional moment as celebrities and guests arrived at the venue, which was the Hotel Cap Eden Rock. Interestingly, the kind of real challenge with this event was that the event straddled both day and night, so we had an interesting lighting setup that allowed us to kind of work with the variable outdoor lighting. And ultimately working with guests and VIPs where they're on a schedule and there's lots of content that has to be produced from this one event. The efficiency and flawless efficiency of being able to capture, edit and share within less than a minute was really key. So if you want to take a quick look at what we produced at that event, I hope you'll agree that it was pretty glam. British Fashion Awards. So the British Fashion Awards is a really key date in the British fashion calendar, and we worked together with the client TikTok, who wanted to kind of evolve what that red carpet moment would look like. So we were tasked with creating a complex package of 3 different selectable presets. All of those presets were matched with 3 trending TikTok tracks. That's a mouthful. And we had to be able to give live access to the content as it was produced so that PR and communications team could push that content out live. And so this little video here will give you a flavour of what actually happened on the red carpet as those guests and celebrities arrived.
Your hands under my pillow, so I sleep. And I'm dreaming of you, the roses on my feet. I'm obsessed with you in a way I can't believe. When you wipe your tears, do you wipe them just for me?
I hope a trap boy's your type, why? Cause I don't have a 9 to 5. Alright, I get that your standards high, but I'm not a random guy, I'm different.
I'm dreaming of you, leaving roses on my feet. I'm obsessed with you in a way I can't believe. When you wipe your tears, do you wipe them just for me?
I hope a trap boy's your type, why? Cause I don't have a 9 to 5. Alright, I get that your standards high, but I'm not a random guy, I'm different. When I write my rhymes, you say you don't like that line, I'll switch it. You said you don't like my life, you said you don't like my guys, you're tripping. Trap boy's your type, cause I don't have a 9 to 5. I get that your standards high, but I'm not a random guy, I'm different. When I write my rhymes, you say you don't like that line, I'll switch it. You said you don't like my life.
But Jägermeister were looking for a really unique experience as part of their sponsorship of Perukaville Festival. And Jägermeister's main objective was to capture the attentions of thousands of festival goers in a really rich and memorable brand activation. So Showbolt was chosen to enhance the quality of the kind of content produced and shared on the social networks around this event. So cool festival goers were invited to take a slow motion shot of themselves in the Showbolt, and the slogan "Take a shot, not a selfie" was the kind of overarching creative for that event. So we demonstrated to the brand and agency that Showbolt was actually really capable of executing a creative strategy at a large scale event. The content was designed in the 16:9 ratio to encourage Instagram Reel and TikTok sharing, the most kind of popular channels that we see our content shared to. And over the course of the weekend, we shot over 1,000 clips, 1,000 shots of Jägermeister, lucky them. And yeah, it overall helped amplify the event and Jägermeister's presence there. So next we go to the Red Bull Dance Your Style concept with Showbolt, which was inspired by the street dance competition. And we wanted to capture a range of motion using the world's kind of fastest camera robot. Showbolt really does excel at capturing the energy of dancers' movement, so it's a perfect marriage for this event. And to kickstart the activation, we worked with Poppin C, who encouraged, he's a kind of street artist dancer, encourage visitors to make their own moves in front of the camera and dance some kind of cool dance moves. This was a really interesting activation because it was actually a semi-permanent installation, and we were installed in the Museum of Transport in Switzerland for 3 months, which meant that from a challenge point of view, we had to produce large volumes of clips to an international audience, so they needed kind of minimal verbal direction. So we needed to be very clear on how we directed guests through this, but overall it really enriched Red Bull's presence at the exhibition at the Museum of Transport. If we take a look at that. So obviously shown an overwhelming kind of broad spectrum of what can be done with Showbolt, whether it's the traditional red carpet work and how that can be evolved based on kind of client briefs to the more kind of rich brand experiences. But some of that can be really overwhelming for clients in terms of like, where do you start with a piece of technology that where we can program any movement, we can program any edit. So in order to kind of streamline that creative process, we have built a really rich library of preset moves with their associated edit, which basically allows us to cover most event briefs as a starting point. And by removing the kind of production time associated with developing custom briefs, which is great for some clients, they really need that, but others actually just want to have the theatre of the arm, the amazing, beautiful content that's output. And so the preset library, which is kind of where we start with most clients, allows us to give a starting point for clients to kind of optimize the Showbolt experience that they can then offer to their clients. So just to take you through kind of what those presets are, I think if we jump to the next slide there. So we've created 4 presets, and these for different scenarios, from red carpet to sporting events, perhaps something more music themed, to a fashion event. The set styling can obviously be adjusted based on the event, but all of the lighting presets, the edit and the movement of the arm have been made to kind of really optimize what Showbolt can do. I will pass over now to Eduardo, who sits in our wonderful European team in Italy.
Yeah, hello. So I just wanted to make sure you got the point. We have this new collaboration, and we're going to be able. We are already able to provide it and deliver it in all Europe whenever the event is, and of course Europe and in the US. Since you already are in our database and you know sharingbox, I guess you may already have your direct contact in the company, either it's in Europe, in each country, or in the US. You can directly contact them, or if you are not linked to any sales account in our team, you can write an email to info@sharingbox.com, and we will dispatch a request. The request, of course, the quotes are going to be the rental of the machine plus the delivery on site, and the expertise of our around two operators, one from the Showbolt team and one from the sharingbox team. So feel free to reach out. As of course there is a decremental price in the rental, starting from the day 1 to the optimization starts from day 2. And yeah, this is it. I can talk for the European market. There is also online Melissa or Katie from the US market if they want to add something. Yeah, in Europe we have the machines are in Belgium, so Brussels. You can consider it as the headquarters, but again we can move all the Europe, so no issue to reach you out whenever you are, sorry, wherever you are.
Thank you very much, Eduardo. Thank you very much, Gemma. Thank you very much, Sid, for all this interesting and very much inspiring discussion and presentations. I have some question for you before we leave, all the attendants. So maybe one question for you first, Sid, maybe, or Gemma. How long in advance a brand should plan an event with Showbolt? How many time do we need, in fact, to be in time and to do everything properly? Don't fight to answer.
No, I was opening the mic. No, for Showbolt, any other activation, I will always say the sooner the better, because the sooner we're in contact with the clients, the sooner we can work on the creative side of the project in terms of what movement of the arm we want, of what intro, outro of the video, etc. But the Showbolt activation is clearly something a little bit more complicated. Is not the right word, but takes a bit more time to set up. So I will say minimum a month in advance would be like the minimum. Ideally, I would ask 1 to 3 months. But again, if people from Sharingbox are listening, we would always gonna say yes, even if somebody calls us like 2 weeks before, even though that won't be the ideal solution, for sure not. The day before, that's not gonna work. It's not a simple photo booth. But I will guess ideally minimum a month in advance. If it's 1 or 2 weeks in advance, we'll make it happen, but that will not be the best condition. And everybody loves to work at his ease and make sure we manage the project properly. So yeah, we say minimum 1 month. If it's 1 or 2 weeks, it's gonna be done, but not the best.
I think that it could be interesting also maybe to mention the technical constraint, or maybe the things that we have to take care about when we are a brand or a customer and we want to organize an event with Showbolt. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
I'm happy to take this one. So our brilliant European team work with an arm that can fit in a space about 5 meters by 5 meters. Is normally what we request as a guide. As you've probably seen from the videos, is a larger piece of kit, and therefore the logistical access is always a kind of key initial consideration. So very difficult to get upstairs. We prefer briefs where it's step-free access if possible. And we need a setup time typically of about 4 hours before an event. But as Sidney mentioned, the longer we have, the better. Then we can do all of our pre-testing. It's always nice not to be put under too much pressure before the event goes live. So yeah, prior day access is amazing, but we can do it in kind of 4 hours from loading to setup, providing that there's an internet connection there. Typically, we request a hardwired dedicated internet access, and there's the suitable power to power the machine as well, and we have step-free access into the building. So they're the key questions that the Sharingbox team will pose to you as a client to begin with. Once all of that boring bits out of the way, then you can get started on the fun, creative movement of the arm and the editing process.
Yeah. Thank you. And yes, we have seen some fantastic output, some great moments with this activation. And what would you say about the size of the group of attendants that we should invite for such an event, to give everybody the chance to be the star? What's the maximum number for you? Or yeah.
I'll take this one again. So it totally depends on the live hours of the event, but typically starts someone coming into the activation to being directed by our wonderful director to then going, sharing their content and receiving it, providing that we've got a great internet connection. That can be about kind of between 2 and 3 minutes. So it's a very quick process. As you saw from the Jägermeister example, we're more than happy to welcome in groups of people if that's kind of part of the aesthetic and the requirement of the brief. It just means that we'll consider the kind of framing of that to make sure that everyone is kind of a hero in that content and no one's kind of left out. So those are all things that are really helpful to have in the brief initially, whether you're keen to have people come in to have their kind of solo moment in the Showbolt or with groups of friends, because that will also kind of impact on where we place the machine, how we frame those people, and the overall edit that we apply then to the content itself.
And Eduardo, in the next weeks, in the next months, where do you see, in which market segment do you see the Showbolt in Europe or US? What will be your best dream? Where would you like to see the Showbolt in?
Yeah, I think that the usage of this kind of activation is pretty wide. Let's consider that in November we made also a wedding, so it's kind of no, but yeah, for sure, wine and spirits or festivals, or also automotive. We already got several events covered with that. Every VIP night, every VIP influencer, or talent night with the premier output. It's really wide, but again, I think the brand that wants to innovate and wants to be always ahead, considering the market, and wants to be the first ones that do something special, it's really fit.
Okay, Sidney, something to close the webinar? A word to say?
I get the last word. No, it was like as Eduardo just said, everything is better when you're the first one to do it. So obviously we already had a couple of clients using it, but not on every market and not on every industry. So if such a product, if you see your brand using such a product, do it as soon as possible, and you'll see the results are quite good, and I was super happy with the results. So I'll be happy to see more clients trying out the Showbolt.
Okay, so thank you, everybody. Now it's time to close. So you know the contact, you know what to do to have the opportunity, in fact, to play with this new amazing event. It's time to close. We'll send, of course, the recording of this webinar, and we will input the missing video. Apologize again for that. Do not hesitate to share. Do not hesitate to contact us. This is the most important. And please also take a minute to fill in the satisfaction survey that we will send you, because it helps us definitely to improve the webinar that we are doing. So see you soon, and have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.